Good day or good evening, whatever time it is where you're watching this video. I wanted to sit at the table today with Spirit and see what messages they might want to bring forth for us. And I went ahead and picked up this brand new tarot deck that was sent to me by a lovely subscriber here on this channel. Tom, thank you very much for gifting me these cards. As I was setting this all up, I ended up dropping all of the cards on the floor, and I'm like, yay, let's play 52 pickup, woohoo, okay, Spirit. So it was kind of a fun, like, trickster vibe that I was feeling. And then when I was picking them up, I happened to notice that two of the cards were actually face up, and they were in the upright positions, according to my perspective. And I decided to leave those out because I feel like that's part of this message here. And I also noticed that there were two more cards that were face down, but they were way off in the distance from all the other cards. And so that told me that I needed to include these cards here as well. So quite an exciting start to this message tonight, I feel. And I'm sure you guys are wondering too why this beautiful black bag is sitting here. They have my ancient runes in them, and I thought it would be fun to maybe cast some runes to go with this message. So anyways, the cards that fell out face up, we have the Emperor here, and then we have the Four of Wands. The vibes of the Emperor bring in someone who has the energy of stability, someone who is authoritative, and someone who offers protection to a group of people or to a mass of people. And with the Four of Wands, which is the other card that fell out, it talks about community. It also talks about a return after a long trip somewhere. And to me, that is speaking of the possibility of a return of energy that is being brought to the collective. And it's funny, I almost said connective. So there's something there with connecting. And with this Emperor, now that I have almost said connective, it's making me think of the connection between oneself and the higher self, what I often refer to as the higher God mind within me, or you. And so perhaps this is what this is representing here. Four of Wands also speaks of celebration after a long travel and a returning home. There's a lot of you out in the collective who are doing this right now, returning to home within oneself through the connection of you and your higher God mind. And this is definitely something I feel should be celebrated. And now I'm curious to see what these other two cards are. We've got Nine of Swords. And then we have Knight of Swords. I really feel as if the Nine of Swords and the Knight of Swords here are speaking of people who have been fearful, who have been worrying, who have been anxiety-ridden over these truths that have come in through the connection of your higher God mind. But with this Knight of Swords accompanying the Nine of Swords, it's showing that though there are anxieties, you have the determination and you're motivated to carry on and to pursue higher truths. It's an energy of being very ambitious in a spiritual sense, and letting go of the fears of judgment that may be cast upon you by people around you. Because honestly, once you know the truth, there is no return, right? And as I'm sitting here looking at the depictions on these cards, these things that have been brought on by accessing your higher God mind are really the truths that are going to set you free. And I can't help but notice this horse here. He's like, da, 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 da. I have the sword and I'm charging forward. And it almost looks as if the Emperor here, which I believe is this higher God mind within us, it almost looks like a chariot. You know what I mean? And it's like running over all this fear and anxiety into this celebration with the community, with the people, with the collective. It's very much hieroglyphic to me. That's why I really like this deck of cards. Is there anything else, Spirit, that you might want us to know about this story? We have the Page of Cups. Yeah, see, they said cover it up right there. Cover up that Nine of Swords with this Page of Cups because new emotions are coming through. New emotions are emerging. Happier ones. Ones of peace. Ones of satisfaction. I'm hearing there's nothing to fear but fear itself. And when we turn around and we look at our own fears, we realize that they're only there because they're trying to teach us something. And that's bringing us to a Three of Cups energy. More celebration within the community, within the collective. Bringing in new perspectives with the Hanged Man. New perspectives, bringing in even higher truths. I just heard up is down and down is up. Might be significant to someone out there. It kind of reminds me of the Pirates of the Caribbean. I forget which one it was. But they had that in their travels where they had to go down to go up on the ocean. I vaguely remember that. Now we have the Nine of Cups. Contentment. So people are reaching a certain amount of contentment here in the collective, and I really like to see that. Because times can be tough, you know, things can be restless and push and shove. And it's almost as if we're coming to a time where we don't need to push and shove anymore. And those who don't want it will remain the same. And things will die off eventually. That's what I heard. Two more cups. 10 of Cups. Nothing but sheer spiritual abundance. In knowing just who the F you are, I heard. Just in knowing that alone, how divine you are, how connected you are to Source, and really utilizing that higher God mind to achieve this mindset, to bash all these anxieties. I'm hearing putting your foot on their neck, on the anxieties. It's a time of freedom and liberation, and now I understand why this is coming through. Because of the fact that we are moving into, we're ending this year of the old, shedding the old, the snake, you know? Shedding the old, going into the new, growing new skin, and preparing ourselves for the next year, which is going to be the fire horse. A time, the fire horse, right there, the fire horse. Passionate actions being taken. I just heard there's no stopping us now. And one more card fell out on the floor, and that's the Ten of Swords in reverse. This is what's being flipped. Just like flipping the table, you know? We're flipping the table on that Ten of Swords energy. Leaving it in the dust. The dust of the Chariot. With the Emperor in our mentee. That chariot that's being pulled by the fire horse. That's what I heard. That is fantastic. Let's go ahead and cast some runes. I apologize for the messy cards tonight. Sometimes it's structured with me and sometimes it just gets a little messy. You never know what you're going to get here on Sarai's channel and Spirit's channel. Let's see what we have here. I hope y'all can see these, but you know. First and foremost, I can't ignore the fact that we've got Tiwaz out here. And that's the first one that I touched on this table. And that is representative of the Sky God. And it stands for honor and justice and leadership and authority. There's that Emperor vibe right there coming through. There's some kind of also willingness to make sacrifices along the way as well. But Tiwaz definitely represents also victory and completion. We've got now these right here, which is suggestive of needing something. I'm also noticing algae here, which is also a representative of protection. And also, not just an outward protection over you, but the feeling of needing to protect yourself. And so, the fact that I was drawn to pick these two up together is that there is a need to protect yourself at this time. Now is not quite the right time to really go out there and just kind of have it all out in willy-nilly style in people's faces, you know? We do things different. We don't shove our beliefs into people's faces. We let them wake up on their own, right? And there is protective measures that are needed to be taken because of things that will be overturned because of this new way of belief. But algae also acts as a shield and a guardian for those who are in need of protection. And lastly, and the most exciting that I find with these ruins is we have Iwaz and we have Dagaz. Iwaz is the horse, the two horses. Dagaz is day, daylight, dawn, dawn of the horse. You feel where I'm going with that? Fire horse. I am so excited for this coming year, it's not even funny. I know that a lot of people speak of the return of the Sky God. And I'm not super privy on sharing my own belief systems, but I will share this one thing, and that is that the return of that energy is going to happen on a collective level through the activation of everyone's higher God mind, higher self, and through soul integration. And I truly believe that this coming Fire Horse year is going to be a catapult for this happening. You are clearly offered some pretty heavy protection here. And so we should think back to that Nine of Swords and understand and know fully that we do not have anything to fear except fear itself. And when that fear arises, just make sure you turn around and look at it and see what it's trying to teach you. so that you can gain those higher perspectives. And I think that's what Spirit's message is for this video. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you to all of you who have gotten through this video with me. Thank you for your patience with me. Thank you for tolerating the shadows and the wrinkly tablecloth, and I just really appreciate you all for being here. It's really humbling, and I truly, truly enjoy interacting with you guys as well. And I can feel the love and the warmth that you guys bring to this channel. So I just want to say once again, thank you for being here. And I hate to remind y'all, but make sure if you like the video, if it resonates with you, please hit that like button, because it does help. It tells this silly computer and YouTube that people like the video, people like the message, and it helps it get out there further into the computer space so that more people can see it. And so I appreciate you guys doing that. And if you're new here and you like my readings, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can be notified when I share more content. I love you all unconditionally, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.